Hi guys!
And welcome to another episode of To My Younger Self,
the #1 podcast for students and graduates.
made by young people for young people.
It's Aleesha here.
And it's your girl Praise.
And today we're going to be talking about
Friendships.
So we're talking about making genuine friendships, fake friendships.
Friendship experiences, probably.
Yeah.
Peer pressure.
Ooh,
I know, I thought about that in the shower.
That's a good one. And also we're going to be talking about different periods of our lives, so school, university, sixth form, adulting.
Enough. Makes sense. Well, of course, first order of business is we're back with another vibe of the week, Aleesha.
Yes.
And so I ask you, what is your vibe of the week for this week?
So I've got 2 songs actually.
Oh, really?
And I was listening to it on the way here. One of them is a recommendation for you because I know you like Sampha. I know, it's called Father Time. Have you heard it? With Kendrick Lamar.
What kind of question is that?
Oh, damn. Well,
but it's a great
it's a good song, isn't it?
Yeah,
I was listening to it on the way here and I was thinking of you. And the next one is Daylight. And I feel like everyone knows this song. Daylight. And in the daylight. Up my phone.
I've not heard it.
Come on. Make you feel like home.
I actually haven't heard of this.
It's like my feel-good song.
Who wrote it?
I think it's like Matt or something like that. Let me see.
Matt.
I would play it if Matt and Kim. This song. I would play it, but
I'll
I
listen
get
to it
copyrighted,
after this episode. But okay, I'll have a listen to it after.
You know, just like those songs that just make you feel good. Like I was bopping down the road with my headphones on, listening to that on the way here.
I feel like I have 2 playlists similar to that.
Do you?
One's either Amapiano. And
Yeah.
Or
wait. On the topic of Amapiano, do you know that song That Are with Tyler? And Tyler's like, I. No. Okay.
And then I have like, you know, the ones with like Mr. Brightside.
Oh yeah.
The Killers.
Mr. Brightside.
Yeah, that's the other vibe.
Okay, what's your vibe of the week?
My vibe of the week, I said vibe. My vibe of the week, since you mentioned music, my vibe of the week are a pair of headphones. But I don't actually know, what are those things that are in-ear headphones? Yeah? Is that correct? Because headphones are like... Aleesha.
Wait, that's earphones.
Oh! Well,
you make me laugh.
seems like it's been a long day. My vibe of the week are earphones. My friend Oge recommended them to me, and since then, I literally can't. Yeah, I can't live without them. They're called the Jabra Elite 10s, and I would really, 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 really recommend them. I have the Apple headphones, the actual headphones, and I just realised after like a year, the noise cancelling on those, I don't know if yours are still perfect, but the noise cancelling on mine were just not...
What, on the Apple headphones?
Yeah, mine aren't as sufficient as they were in the beginning. So the Jabra Elite 10s would be my recommendation.
Is it better noise cancellation?
Better noise cancellation. I can't hear a single thing, which is actually quite bad. But if you click the button, you can obviously hear through. But I'd really recommend those. You can get them on Amazon, and they have student discount as well. So they're like $229 retail.
That's good.
But with student discount, I got them for $120.
That's actually really good, and the noise cancellation is better than the Apple ones. Apple ones are like £600.
I actually can't believe how expensive those headphones are.
So expensive. Like when I bought my Apple headphones, for me it was after my internship, the 10-week internship, and I was like, I'm gonna get it as a gift to myself, like a treat.
Fair enough. I got mine. I bought a new MacBook and I bought a new iPad during the student season.
Yeah.
So I got the gift cards from that and used each one to get money
the
off
uni
the
days
headphones.
thing. Yeah. Oh, I miss student discounts.
What a great vibe of the week. Quite musical.
Yeah, I know. I quite like that. Okay. I have a question before we get into the thick of the episode. I wanted to ask you, do you have a bucket list?
I have a bucket list, but of locations.
Yeah.
Like countries that I want to visit.
What's on your bucket list?
Tokyo.
Same.
As a place I want to go to. Maldives is one of the places I want to visit. I also want to... I have a list here, actually.
Oh.
Mexico, Malaysia, Brazil, which I'm going to next year.
Oh, yeah. Wait, are you going for Carnival?
No.
Oh.
No, not for Carnival. New York, actually, which is quite a random one. I've never been. I know.
You give such New York aesthetics. I would have thought you'd been.
Yeah, so New York's on my bucket list. What's on yours?
Mine is similar to yours. Brazil is on there, but specifically during like Rio Carnival. Because have you seen Rio? Yeah, I love that film. Love it. And it just makes me want to go. Tokyo as well, big one for me because I watched anime growing up, so I really want to go. And just Japan in general. Also, I was meant to do Thailand this year actually.
Really?
Yeah, I got accepted into a summer teaching program, but I couldn't because of the surgery. Unfortunately,
that's really sad.
It is very sad. But yeah, that would have been another one. And then also not just countries, but skydiving. That's up there. I was actually going to go skydiving in Marbella when I went.
You didn't do it?
No, because Sapna wouldn't do it with me. So Sapna, if you're listening, it's all your fault. So skydiving, bungee jumping, parasailing.
You know what? I would love to do these things, but I genuinely feel like as I've got older, I've just started to realise that I feel not young anymore. Or it's like I'm like my body's not the same. I feel like it's like going on a roller coaster. The impact it has on me after getting off than how it did when I was like 14 or 15. I'm like, we're not built the same anymore.
I love roller coasters so much. I'm an absolute adrenaline junkie. I went to Disneyland Paris.
I've been.
Have you been? Yeah, it was fun. It was fun. And Fort Park, Alton Towers.
I do love it. Yeah. I don't feel like I've gone enough. I feel like I've gone to Fort Park like.
If I wasn't doing the surgery, I'd say let's go to Fright Night together. You know, Fort Park Fright Night. Are you gonna go?
Let's move on. Let's move on. So, on my way to the studio, I came out of King's Cross St Pancras station and I bumped into, they're called the 90s baby show, Fred and Temmie from it. And
exciting.
I was like, oh! Genuinely, that was my reaction. I went, oh! But I realised I have this issue where...
Can I show the picture?
Yeah, of course. I never know how to react properly when I like see people by surprise, and this happened. That's the photo for those who are watching of the selfie I took with them, and I also did it for my brother because he listens to them. Yeah. But it was a really great. I felt like it was a sign, and then they asked because I was carrying this fat sign that we always have to take around with us every time we're recording an episode. And they asked, I was like, is that artwork? And I was like, no, actually, like, I started a podcast with my friend. And it felt so surreal saying it out loud. Because previously, had we been around, I actually wouldn't have said anything. Yeah. Well, actually, I probably would have said it.
Yeah, I mean.
But that was a great experience in turn. And it was nice. Like, a big pick-me-up to come to the episode. They were lovely. They were lovely.
Point, we'll get them on the pod.
Definitely. And that wasn't the first time I've met them.
Really?
Do you remember that time we went for dinner after I'd come from a YouTube event?
Yeah.
I'd met
at
VP.
The YouTube event?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
The other one. So yeah, so nice. Now I've officially spoken to all three.
Wow, that is great. That's fate right there. That's
I think so.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about before we get into it?
Oh yeah, I did have a question for you. If you were a day of the week, what day do you think you were? it was so random. I was thinking about it when I was studying and I was like,
Not a Monday. Oh, that's a good question, you know. I'd probably say... Do you know what? The reason that question is funny right now is because I'm actually unemployed at the moment. So every day feels the same. I don't know what day is it today? I couldn't tell you.
Today's Thursday.
Like, so right now it's pretty hard. I'd probably say Friday, maybe. Like, just that Friday feeling like you're finishing work.
I feel like you're Thursday.
Do you think so? That's a random day, though.
I know.
Why?
I feel like a Thursday's like, oh, you're so close to Friday. You've got something to look forward to.
Oh.
Or you could be a Saturday.
Yeah, I feel like a Saturday is very lively.
Yeah, you could be a Saturday.
Yeah.
I don't know what day I am.
A Sunday?
That's a bit too
But then no,
for
because
me.
Sunday is like you're dreading going to work.
Back to work. I feel like I could be a
Not
Wednesday.
in a bad way, but I feel like you're a Monday. The reason I say that is because you're very organised.
I see.
And like you wake up early and stuff.
I see.
So I feel like you could actually be a Monday.
I see.
Or maybe a Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday's a bit nicer than
Next,
Monday.
let's just move on. Thanks.
Okay, so for the topic today, we're focusing on friends, and I feel like it fits quite well because last night I went for dinner with some friends. You see it on my story.
Cute,
it was really cute. So it was with my friends Jack, Tenny, and Kosa, who I met at LSE, and they were in Praise's year group. And we actually all met on a random trip, a uni trip in Italy. So I didn't even know them before that trip. It was just part of like LSE, like an exchange program, basically.
Yeah.
And when I was at that dinner, I just had such a good time, and I feel like I've been really reflecting on my friendships lately, and I'm so happy, and I've actually like given thanks to God as well that I have like such genuine friends around me now, and I feel like it takes a lot of time to get to that point. Have you got tears in your eyes?
No, you wish.
Or your eyes watering?
You wish. Maybe it's the light.
The light.
That's really sweet. I think that's really sweet what you just said.
Because remember I said this at my graduation dinner too. So after graduation I had a dinner with all of my closest like female friends. Obviously Praise was there, and then I had my other friends from uni and like out of uni, and it was just, it's so nice like looking around and just having like genuine friendships like that.
And I think we should mention Aleesha and I, we don't have the same friends.
No,
of
we
course.
don't.
I met most of your friends that you'd consider your great friends at her graduation dinner, and I actually really liked all of them.
That's good.
So I think that's always a good indicator as well. And I felt like your friends at your graduation dinner were very reflective of you, or different parts of you, which was nice. So yeah, I like your friends.
I'm still to meet some of your friends, to be fair.
You know what? I don't... But then also, the friends at your graduation dinner weren't like groups, bar like Tenny and Kosa.
Yeah.
A lot of my friends are like individual people.
Yeah, that's the same for me actually. I've noticed my friends are like individual people from different places. So even at that grad dinner, a lot of them were meeting for the first time.
Yeah.
Because I know people from like different parts of my life.
No. And one of my biggest... It's not fair. It's not actually not fair. But I get more stressed thinking about the thought of having to bring all my friends together at like a dinner, or say like a birthday celebration. It will happen eventually, but I'm also thinking, oh, what if someone doesn't have someone to speak to? Like, I genuinely can't deal with that, which is why I just continue with seeing everyone individually. But I think you'd like my friends.
I think that's one thing that I'm good at, is like bringing different groups together. Like I've always done it and not been afraid of it, but a lot of my friends have said that as well, that they're scared like what if people don't get along because everyone's like from different places. But I do feel like my friends are very different at the same time. Are they? Yeah. But you'd be surprised if they could be very different but all get along, because it's a reflection of you, and if everyone gets along with you, I'm sure they'll get along with each other.
That's very true.
Yeah,
that's very, very true.
But the reason I mentioned that as well is just like growing up, it's genuinely only this year, and I said this to you before on a phone call, it's genuinely, this is the first year in my life where I look around me and all of my friends, I know these are like my solid friends that are gonna be at my wedding, I'll be at their weddings, like funerals, that's a bit of a stretch, but you know what I mean? God forbid, but like just gonna be with each other for life basically. Having first kids, all those kind of things. How crazy. You know, we're not that young anymore. Those things are around the corner. We're not young anymore.
Honey, we're 20. Like, we're young.
20.
We're young. What are you talking about?
True.
Do you have a question in line with that?
Yeah, I do actually. I've got lots of questions for you.
Okay,
firstly...
Well, actually, let me respond in terms of what you just said about you realising this year that you've got a good, solid group of friends. I feel like since being at school, I always knew like who my solid friends were, and they haven't changed,
really?
Which is a really good thing. I think I have good discernment, and it's never failed me. That's why I feel like the situation with my friends is the way it
That's
is.
really good. I think for me, the difficulty has been firstly moving around, because obviously I've been to 10 different schools, so it's hard for me to like have had like solid friendships from, let's say, I don't know, primary school up till now. And then also I don't know, I just found we'll talk about this more later in the episode, but I just found myself like attracting like crazy friends. Like, I don't know why. Like, at one point I was thinking, am I the problem here? Because why am I attracting crazies?
I've had crazy friends, like, but I knew it wasn't me. I knew, like, because I have friends where I'm like, I had a friend who I knew she was, like, I knew something was off, but I still appreciated her.
Yeah.
That I could separate the two until her crazy side started messing up my own enjoyment of life. I was like, I'm not dealing with this. Yeah.
Let's talk about it now. I wanted to talk about it later, but let's just talk about it now because we're on the topic. I wanted to like each talk through like some crazy experiences we've had with friends that we've fallen out with now. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, because you know that I had one that I was thinking of, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I forgot about this because I've moved around a lot. I forget about like different parts of my life. It's just like, oh, past Aleesha. But I was reflecting on this the other day. So imagine, this is probably one of the craziest things I've experienced, to be honest, with a friend. I was in year 6, so how old is that? Like 11 years old?
Yeah.
And my best friend at the time, also, I don't know about you, but I found myself in quite intense best friendships. Like, I would go to their house all the time. They'd be in my house all the time. Like...
I don't think my parents allowed the house thing.
Fair enough. So I feel like maybe that's the difference.
Yeah.
Yeah, because obviously, different cultural differences. Because I was raised with my mom at that time. So anyway, I had this friend... Let's call her Susie for now. That's not her real name. Let's call her Susie. So Susie would actually blackmail me. And I didn't... At 11 years old, like, what's going on, to be honest? What's really going on here? And there's a situation I remembered the other day. So I grew up with not having much money, to be honest. Like, grew up in poverty, right? And there was one time I went to hers and she wanted to go to the fair on the park. You know, there's like temporary fairs.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, but I don't have any bread, so how is that going to happen? And she was like... Both her and her mum was like, no, it's okay, I'll give Susie £20 each for both of you, like £40 in total, let's say, and you can both go. And I was like, are you sure, like, I don't want to like be spending other people's money. And they were like, no, go have a good time, da 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 da. Like, tell me why. A few days later, I was at her house again and she was like, oh, you know that £20, you need to pay me back for that £20, and I was like, what? Is that not blackmail? And I actually started crying because I was like, I know my mum was stressed out at the moment with money. And £20 seems like a lot of money back in those days. And I was crying. I was like, oh my days, no, I thought it was okay. I can't, my mum's not got no money, da da da. And she was still there, just like sat with a straight face telling me that I need to give it back.
Did she explain why?
No, she just felt like saying it. She didn't explain herself.
How long did you stay friends for after that?
I moved away after that, so I escaped.
That moving was a blessing.
You know what? That's a pattern, actually. I've escaped a lot of, like, bad friendships by moving.
Oh.
Yeah, I moved. I think I moved to Bradford. Bradford, can't remember. Isn't that mad, though?
Yeah,
At 11.
it's not, yeah.
It shows some people are just crazy from young, to be honest.
At 11.
But shout out to Susie. Hope she's doing well now.
I can give one... Oh... So, I actually know, to be honest, I can speak about this because I did make a YouTube video.
Oh, did you?
Okay. I'm pretty sure I've privated it now. Not for any reason other than the fact that I wanted my channel to embody a place of peace. But I was part of this friendship group. And bear in mind, me and majority of those girls are all friends now. Like, they're my best friends.
Yeah.
Bar one significant individual who actually tried to make our lives a living hell. And I think it was the experience of obviously just being in school at the time and blah, blah, blah. But this friend, let's call her Jemima, she scammed me of wireless tickets.
What? When was this?
This was it's GCSE year. So I would have been...
like,
this was,
15, 16?
Yeah, I was 16. Wow. And so she was working with this guy 2 years above us. Oh, what a place. Anyway, she was working with this guy 2 years above us, and he also was selling wireless tickets to like students for like to us in school who couldn't get tickets online. And she was like, oh, it's okay, just give me £150 and you get your tickets for the Saturday and Sunday, the time I wanted to go to Wireless. Mm-hmm. Give her the money, cool. And she's my friend. You wouldn't think your friend is going to, like...
Yeah, you would not accept...
You're my friend. Like, that's the last thing I'd ever think you do. And then it comes up, like, 2 days before Wireless, and she's like, oh, sorry, guys, Ticketmaster's having a... has crashed completely. So, unfortunately, like, no one's getting their tickets. And I was like, okay... So give me my money, like, right?
Yeah,
principle.
Obviously, yeah.
And no, she was no. As in, bear in mind, there were other students in our year who had got scammed by her.
This is crazy.
Obviously, like, the tickets never existed, like, they were never real. And what ended up happening was her mother paid back another girl in my year, another boy in my year, bar me.
Wow.
So I was the only one who didn't get my money back as far as I'm concerned. And I remember messaging, and of course I didn't tell my brothers this. Like, they would have been like, Praise!
Do they know about it now?
Yeah, they know about it.
Did you get it back?
No.
And
we messaged the dad, and he aired.
Do you talk to her still?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Thank God. I would have to walk out this room.
And then I remember when I did
Oh my God, I'm sorry that happened.
It's okay. You live and you learn. But yeah, that was a time when I'm, like, grateful. I think bar this time we knew, like, this relationship or this friendship is not doing anyone a good service.
That's crazy. Her. I just thought of another one as well, by the way. That's why I went like this early on in the story, because it just came back to me. When I lived in Leeds in year 7, so a year after the crazy best friend, Susie, now we have another best friend, new school, in Leeds. Yeah. No, in Pudsey. And let's call her... we're going to run out of aliases.
Jasmine.
No, I know someone called Jasmine.
Okay, Emma.
Okay, let's call her Emma, right? Emma, again, intense best friendship, be at each other's house all the time. Mostly I was at her house because I didn't really like having people at my house. Sleepovers, all that jazz. Had a sleepover at hers once, and she was doing my hair. Like, she was just brushing my hair. Let me just also mention that she's white as well, for more context, with ginger hair, long ginger hair. She's brushing my hair, I know. And then she says, oh, Aleesha, there's a knot here. Do you mind if I cut it out? And I said, she showed me it, and it was like a little knot. You know, like the little knots at the end of your hair. So I said, yeah, of course you can, Emma. You can cut that little knot. She snipped off my hair. She snipped off my hair. I had a bob. My hair was up to here, but it's not like... I can't
Okay, now I'm crying.
There's awful pictures on Facebook. My hair was up to my ears. What? What is that?
How old were you?
Year 7. It took until like year 10 for my hair to grow back. I still don't think my hair's as long as it used to be. When I was a kid, it was like down to my butt.
Wow.
Craziness. Honestly, that is wicked.
You know what? As you've been speaking, I've realised I don't think I have that many.
There's way more. There's
no,
probably like
I genuinely
more
don't have that many bad stories to tell with friends.
Yeah.
Bar that girl who's like
that
was a sole concern, and then obviously one experience at uni, but we've mended it. So
yeah, no, I'm not talking about the more recent things for a reason. Let's not be messy. These are like when I'm a kid. There's worse things like when I went from like year 11 onwards. But let's not go there. Okay, so anyway, let's move away from the bad stuff. Yeah, yeah, I know it was so bad. And then for some reason, I dyed it red in year 8, so I looked like a clown. And there's actually a picture. Oh my gosh! When I was at secondary school, my friends, I'm still friends with him now, Tanaka and my other friends, they edited a photo of me to look like Pennywise the clown. They edited the photo of me with a red bob in the drain.
Oh.
That's so brutal. And our secondary school was a brutal place. Ooh, my belly hurts now. Okay, what qualities do you look for in finding a true friend?
That is a very good question.
Thank you. I think it's a good question too.
That's a great question. I'd probably say the qualities I look for in finding a good friend, I look at their values. And one thing I realised, what I said earlier, that my friends aren't all the same. Like, they're very different. But one similar thing about all my friends, I feel like all their values are sort of the same.
Yeah. Would you want to like expand on that?
Yeah,
because I know what you mean, but
my values are sort of like, I operate with honesty. I like quite transparent people. People who want the best intentions for you.
Yeah.
Also, because I can't actually be around people who I feel like you want bad to happen to me. Like, you don't want joy in my life. You want me to suffer, basically. So I think I also look for friends who treat other people with kindness.
With respect,
So regardless of what you do, what your status is, who you are, like, people who care about others and like show respect. I think respect is a really, really big thing for me. What else do I care about?
I think that's a good point, because remember I even said to you that I feel like when you asked me, oh, why did you want to do the podcast with me? I said, because me and you have the exact same values. I feel like you can just tell sometimes when you have the same values as someone. And I feel like for me and you, that's in this the scenario of content.
Yeah, true.
That people can have different values and intentions with the content they're putting out. But what was I going to say? There's something that you said that made me think. Oh yeah, the point about people being genuinely happy for you. I think for me that's like a big thing. And I think it's hard to find that, especially like when you're doing stuff like, I don't know, starting a podcast or a YouTube channel or starting something. It's hard to find friends that will genuinely be proud for you, happy for you, and want to see you do well.
And want it to succeed.
Exactly.
But which is why I think I'm so grateful to God for, because I feel like all my friends, I never have to ask my friends to do anything.
Yeah.
It's always been from, I know they're going to be, like, they show me they're happy for me without me having to ask.
There's actually a clip I want to play quickly.
Yeah.
Kai Cenat said something similar to what you're talking about. I'll just play it into the mic.
It's about friends who are generally want to just see you win. That's hard. People like to see you do good, but not better than them, bro. And it's so hard to just find people that just want to see you win. Just, wow, like, yo, he going crazy.
It's so true though, isn't it? It's so true.
Yeah.
Like, people want to see you do well, but not better than them. It's true. So I think, like, when you're in a place where you have friends around you, where they're actually supportive of you, that's how you know you've got
And you're
true
not
friends.
in competition with
Exactly.
each other.
I never ever look at my friends and think we're in competition.
Like, has always confused me as to how you can feel like you're in competition with your friend.
Don't get me wrong, like, I've had periods where, not my friends, I've never been jealous of any of my friends, but there has been, specifically there's one person that I have in mind, but there was this one person from my secondary school who was in my year group that I did feel jealousy towards, actually. So I actually ended up removing them off of social media because I just didn't feel like it was healthy for me to be...
What made you jealous?
I think it was just like, we were at such a young age, because it was like year 12 times, and this person was like travelling everywhere, doing, like, it looks like they were having a very exciting life online, and I was just like, oh, like, I really want that type of vibe. I didn't really know them that well though, they weren't my friend. But then I came to find out that the way they actually got their money to do that is very... I can't even speak about it. It's very interesting. Very, very interesting.
Very,
so you should never... Like, it's very easy to, like... Especially social media. Social media, everything is glamorized. Even myself.
Yeah.
Like a lot of my things are glamorized. I'll be honest. Like, you put the best part of yourself out online. Apart from, like, this, because I'm just being my full self.
Yeah.
I'm just saying anything.
You just turn up.
Literally in my socks. But, like, even my holiday I went on a family holiday to Jamaica for my 20th birthday, and I posted that and it looked so nice. Everyone was like, this was so nice. And when people were replying, I was like, don't be fooled, you know, because there's a lot of family drama on this trip, and it actually ruined the trip as well. But it's like, I can't talk about the family drama online in a YouTube vid. I'm not going to do that. So you will never know, like, the truth behind things. But yeah, that was the first time that I actually did feel jealousy. So I think, like, it's an emotion that everybody can experience, but you should never like, I think the better way to think about things is to seek inspiration.
From
so
it.
if I've got friends that are doing amazing things, like you, for example, in YouTube, I will never look at your channel and feel jealousy. I'll feel like massive inspiration, like I'm looking up to that and want to get there and da.
It's
and
like something
motivation.
to look, like a motivational aspect of that.
Yeah.
What qualities would you say you look for in friends?
I think a good point is someone that defends you when you're not there. So if they defend you and you're not in that room, I think that's a true friend. Do you know something else? We spoke about this before, but just people that I can have like different type of conversations with. So it doesn't even necessarily need to be like politics, let's say, but just like you're teaching me something that I didn't know, or vice versa. Like it's just like mind opening conversations. I love people like that.
You know what I'm a big believer in also? I'm a big believer in having friends for different things.
Yeah, same actually.
So
that's a good point.
Like, I know some friends I would never ask to go out on a night out with, because you're not doing that. Like, I know you and you're not doing that. Whereas someone like you, Aleesha, I'd probably be like, hey girl,
let's go to the club.
And I probably do have friends where everything I can do with, but some friends are the people that you'd actually just go for coffee with and not go on a night out with, or...
Yeah, no, that's so true.
Yeah, I believe in
that. I believe in that too, especially because I have friends from like different parts of my life. I feel like they are for different reasons or different purposes. The other question I wanted to ask you, a bit of a, not controversial topic, but semi-debate, is do you believe that men and women can just be friends? What do you think about that?
I strongly believe.
You agree?
That men and women can just be friends. Do you want to say, what do you think?
I agree too, so
okay,
that's good.
Yeah.
But I disagree as well. So I agree because I agree, but I think it's difficult to find true platonic soulmates, to be honest.
But soulmates, not every male friend has to be a soulmate.
Or not soulmate.
Single, just
true
mates.
Platonic
mates.
Friendships.
Yeah.
I don't think that comes around easily. I only have one male friend in my entire life where I know that is a platonic, like, soulmate, like, he is my brother, and that's Tanaka. Apart from him, I have lots of male friends, but I don't know how far I would go to say this is like, that sounds crazy, but do you know what I'm trying to say?
I don't
know how far I would say that.
I don't know how.
What do you think? Go on.
I personally think, like, just thinking off the top of my head, I probably have like 5 male friends who I know, like, 100%, like, those are true platonic male friendships.
Let me ask you a question, though.
Male friendship.
Are you sure?
100% sure, Aleesha.
Okay, good.
Am I sure?
Yeah, like, do you think if you were to message them and say...
I'm very sure. I'm very, very sure.
Okay, that's good.
But I think the reason why I find it easier to view that is because of having brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even in school, I don't know, when it's on the topic of friendships again, as I was growing up, like, even when I got to uni, I really struggled with, like, the idea of female friendships. Mm-hmm. Like, I found it a lot harder to deal with than my male friends at school, for example, like secondary school versus uni. And it's because I felt like my friendships with my male friends were more straightforward. Like, there's never walking on eggshells. Like, everyone's very direct with each other. Whereas I think females with friendships, which I've come to have, like, now majority of my friends are girls.
Yeah,
and it's amazing.
Yeah.
But it took me a while to, like, get to a comfortable place where I know, like, everyone's intentions again are right.
Yeah. It's interesting how those dynamics between male and female friendships are so different. Because I have always said I think it's easier for boys to make friends. But some boys I've said that to, I've disagreed as well, so... But it is interesting, the different
Why do you feel like it's harder for girls to make friends?
I just feel like jealousy, competition, even just in terms of things like more material things, like looks or boys and da-da-da. I feel like those things are more common with girls.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't know how else to say it other than the word bitchiness. Like, I can't think of another word to describe it than that. And sometimes that's like an underlying tone with female friendships. That's probably, for me, what I struggled with for a while. Because, for example, when Emma's chopping off all my hair, like, you have to wonder, are you jealous of the hair? Like, why are you chopping it all off?
No, that's true.
Do you get what I'm saying? Like, and I don't feel like that's the case with male friendships.
I think, I will say, I went to an all-girls primary school. And usually they say, like, it's at all-girls schools where it's awful, like, friendships between girls and stuff. But I actually don't think my school was that bad in the sense of female friendships. I will say I did have incidences, which I'll probably speak about in another episode. No, it was bullying.
Oh, really? You got bullied?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, can you talk about it a little bit now?
Well,
that's crazy. Sorry to bring up trauma.
No, it's actually fine. I'm alright. I'm great, actually.
Sorry.
I'm great, but it was a small class. There were 16 of us in our year group. And it was all girls. And I think at that point in time, it was very easy for people to just latch onto what people say and follow the crowd. Speaking to other friends now who I'm still friends with from primary school, they've given me a different perspective or insight to it as to why, like, the bullying probably happened or occurred. But I've reached a place where I don't think that experience caused me to be, or maybe it did actually, tentative with, like, female friendships.
Yeah.
But maybe it did.
Yeah.
Maybe it did. Yeah.
I feel like bad experiences with friends do affect how you approach things. It's just like, it's like with relationships. Like, I think people only think that relationships can affect you. You know, for example, let's say, for example, someone cheats on you, then you'll be less trusting. But I think the same applies for friendships.
Yeah.
Because it got to a point where myself, because I've just said 2 bad situations. I genuinely have about 10 of those situations, but half of them I can't remember. But, like, after each one, it's like a piece of me. You're taking a piece of me, a little piece of me. And then there was a point where I just was very untrusting. Like, not just of men, but just women as well. Like, very untrusting.
That's fair enough. But I think it's similar to thinking of what you can take from all these things. Because, like, for example, that friend of mine in secondary school who scammed me, but was also, like, the ringleader of our friendship group, causing problems. I could spot someone else like her from a mile away.
True.
I spotted things in that girl.
True. And you just nipped it in the bud.
And I was like, I'm not dealing with that. I'm not. Like, no.
Yeah, it's true. And also, sorry to interrupt you, the other thing I want to say is I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing, because, like, me becoming less trusting was actually a good thing. Because, like, when I was younger, I feel like I just wanted friends so bad, but probably because of, like, my home life and everything like that, that I would just open my heart to, like, anybody, and it's like I would just, like, come to me, I'll trust you. Like, you can't be like that in life. You have to somewhat guard and protect yourself. Not too much, but you do have to a little bit to protect your own peace and to, like, evaluate people properly before you let them into your life. So, yeah.
It wasn't up until actually when I started uni and developed, like, my female friendships more, where I became more open, like, in telling people what's going on with my life. And I don't think had I not developed those friendships, I wouldn't be as able to say things to people or, like, provide people with an understanding as to what's going on with me at a certain point in time. I wouldn't say secretive is the word, but I just kept my cards close to my chest.
That just made me think of a question. Sorry. Do you believe in evil eye?
I do.
On the topic of privacy? Because, for example, this podcast, nobody really knew about this before it launched.
I do believe in evil eye. But I also believe in what will be for me can't be, like, stopped by anyone.
Okay.
So I believe that, for example, like, God has planned what he wants for my life, and whatever anyone may try to do, like, it's still going to happen. It might not happen the same way, but it's going to happen.
Yeah.
But what I do believe in is guarding yourself and not just letting any person into your life. For example, that friend of yours,
Emma, Susie, all of them.
I do believe in it. Do you?
Yeah, I do but not as much as other people. For example, one of my good friends, Kassarat, we had a conversation about this. She believes in it heavily, so she doesn't really like to post anything. So, like, for example, she might not post that she got a new job because she believes in evil eye and stuff like that. Or for example, let's say she might not post that she got the internship because she feels like evil eye might interrupt that converting into a job offer. For example, that's not saying that's what happened, but you get what I mean. Whereas with me, I do believe in evil eye, but obviously I don't believe in it that much because I post my pretty much my whole life.
But it's because I believe what will be for me will be for me.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. There's things I work on in secret, like for example this and certain YouTube videos of that. Like I won't disclose it before the time is due. But in general, I'd like to post about my achievements because I'm actually genuinely proud of them. Like, you know, I'm quite active on LinkedIn. I know you hate LinkedIn, but
we're very different.
We're very different on LinkedIn. Yeah.
I think you're very good at posting your achievements.
Yeah.
As in, and I don't mean that in a negative way. I mean it in a great way. Like, I really look up to how easily you find it to be able to like say, "Oh, I'm really proud to announce this or that." That's something I totally struggle with. But it's not because of evil eye, it's just because I'm like, ah!
Yeah, because sometimes, even I asked you your opinion on that post because sometimes with LinkedIn, it's like, it's actually sickening sometimes. Like, you can come across arrogant, like you have to find a way to come across quite humble.
That's why I don't have the app. I don't look at LinkedIn.
Yeah, because it's a difficult one.
Bar applying for training contracts. After that I stopped.
Yeah, but I think for me the reason why I have no problem talking about my achievements and why I'm actually proud, like I'm happy to express that pride, is because where I came from. That's simply why, because for me it is actually an achievement and I'm not afraid to like own my achievements.
That's very true.
And
you should be proud.
Yeah, and I feel like that goes for everybody. I feel like everybody should own their achievements at the end of the day.
And not care so much or what other people think.
You shouldn't care about the size of your achievement as well compared to somebody else's. Like, an achievement to yourself is an achievement regardless.
Do you feel like, what do you think is the most important thing you've learned from your friendships?
In what way?
Like, in any way, like...
What, the bad friendships or the good ones?
Either or. Because you learn from the bad, you learn from the good. Like, how... It could be how it's shaped you, what it's changed about you.
I think I've realised the importance of friendships, especially more recently.
Yeah.
Like, family to me is like the utmost important thing in my life, but I would definitely put friendships up there, especially when we're talking about like these solid life friends. Because they really are your family. Like, I do consider a lot of my friends to be family. I would consider you my family as well, do you know what I mean? And she's like, get me out of here. But like, the importance of them in the sense of when you're going through something, you might not necessarily want to talk to your family about that. You might have friends that you can open up to about things. For example, going through breakups and stuff like that, and having people to lean on is always so important. Or if you're going through loss or grief or da-da-da.
Yeah.
So I feel like I'm just very grateful for the people around me, and I feel like it's important to have. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, I think that's probably mine as well.
Yeah.
Because if not for... And, you know, I find it so easy to say it in, like, when I'm recording a YouTube video, but I cannot say it, like, face-to-face to someone. But I genuinely do love my friends, like, so much. And it's because it's just, like, these are people that choose to care about you and love you for who you are.
True.
Like, your family, you sort of have to love me. Like,
that's true.
You sort of have to. Obviously, that's not the case all the time, but that relationship is almost just already existing. So with friends, I really value them and the importance of that, because it's an avenue or outlet to be able to be your true self with people by your family, and have support from people by your family as
it's
well.
Nice having people around you where you can be your true self. Even for me, for example, I will ask, like, not all the time, a lot of the time I just do things myself, but a lot of the time I do ask people for their opinion. For example, even the podcast, when I had the idea, speaking about it with Kassarat and like coming up with a name and certain ideas around it and da-da-da, like that shows that's a true friendship, because I can have a conversation with you and you're actually interested in what I'm saying and trying to help me.
Yeah.
And it goes both ways. Like, if she's to come to me about something, you know, I'm actually genuinely interested and want to help you.
Yeah.
Similarly, like, if I have a thumbnail, I might quickly text that to Kiva and be like, oh, what do you think of this thumbnail? Da, da, da. Like, and, you know, I feel like that's a good sign of a good friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just because you clearly value their opinions.
Exactly. I do value my friends' opinions, to be fair. Okay, I wanted to do a ranking thing.
Oh, we love.
But it's not a blind ranking. It's just a ranking, basically different periods of your life. But I'm gonna be asking it to you. I want you to do the ranking.
Okay.
Yeah? Excited?
Okay, I'm
yeah?
excited.
Okay,
yeah.
good. Okay, so the things are primary school, secondary school, sixth form, university, and your adult life. Now that you graduated. I know, difficult, right?
Primary school, secondary school, sixth form, university, and my adult life.
Yeah. So I want you to like rank those.
Sixth form, definitely number 1.
Oh. That's interesting.
Adult life, probably second.
So graduation.
Secondary school, probably third.
Uni is low.
Uni, probably fourth. And then primary school, probably fifth.
Wow.
Yeah. Should I give my reason?
Yeah, please.
So I put primary school as fifth, mostly because I can't remember most of it.
Yeah. True.
And then I remember probably the bad part of that. And then university, probably fourth, because I don't feel like I had a proper uni experience. But is this in regard to friendships? Or just in general?
Just in general.
Because even with uni, I've come up with probably the most solid set of friends from university. But bar that, also uni was a very, very weird place.
Yeah.
Like, very, very odd experiences. And I found myself a lot of the time at uni being like, oh, let's take me back to school. Because I had fun at school, had amazing friends, which I did have at uni, but it was more holistic at sixth form and secondary school. Sixth form and secondary school, I wouldn't change anything about my experience there. I had a great time. I loved my friends at my school and the experiences we did, like me playing hockey. Most of my memories will be like with my hockey team, for example, and like us going to championship and playing, or going on school trips with my friends, Duke of Edinburgh, like doing D.A.V.
Sorry to interrupt you, that just reminded me, I really miss school for athletics.
Exactly.
I didn't do it since leaving school.
Exactly.
I used to run and
like,
stuff.
Those are things, for example, that I look back and think of. And what was my number 1? Sixth form?
Yeah. Do you agree now? Do you rethink?
I'd probably switch.
Adult and sixth form?
Oh, no, I put sixth form actually up there, because that was when we had a bit more like responsibility and like a bit more freedom. And I didn't have all that stress and drama that I had in secondary school. Adult life, I like now that I can be independent and things are my decision, and I can choose what friends I have to be in. Like, I'm not put in situations or scenarios in like school or uni where you have to sort of make friends with people.
Yeah.
With adult life now, I can choose who is in my life.
Yeah.
And I just like the freedom, honestly.
That's a good that reminded me of something I was meant to say earlier. You know your true friends once you've left that situation and you're still friends with them.
Yeah.
For example, if you make a friend at work and then now you leave work and you're still friends with them, that's a true friend.
Yeah.
Because I feel like a lot of the time you're friends due to circumstance.
Yeah.
Whilst you're at school, you'll be friends with that group of people, and you might not be friends with them after you leave school.
Yeah, that's very true.
That just reminded me.
Did you know when you were leaving uni or sixth form which individuals were going to be your...
Yeah. I knew at each stage, each school I left, or even uni as well, I looked around my friendship circle and I was like, some of these people I probably won't talk to again, actually. block.
Oh, that's quite sad.
Yeah, I just was like, I told you, there's a point towards the end of LSE, I said this in Jelly's episode.
Oh, yeah, you did.
Where towards the end, I looked around, not necessarily like my core friends, but I looked around and I was like, not so sure about this.
I don't think I'm I'm not surprised, again, with anyone who, like, all my friends now, like, I expected them to still be my friends.
Yeah.
I'd say there's one girl from sixth form who I'm not surprised.
But, like, pleasantly.
No, not even pleasantly. Oh. Like, it's a bit of an awkward one because we had a really good friendship, but there were also problems with the friendship where it's more like not acquaintance thing, but like your friend from afar.
That's very interesting. You know what? Now that I think about it, none of my friends right now, I've not fallen out with them actually at any point. That's crazy.
Do you have any friends who you didn't speak for a bit and now you're friends?
Yeah, remember we spoke about this. Is that what you're asking me?
Yeah, I'm asking you.
Yeah, because we spoke about this before. Not on the podcast. Yeah. So basically, Tanaka and Kiva, there might be another one that I'm forgetting.
I didn't know you and Tanaka didn't speak before.
Yeah, so we went to secondary school together, and then obviously I feel like sixth form got in the way. I'm also a person, it's not to put blame onto other people, it's actually me a lot of the time. With my studies, remember I told you, studies is life for me, like absolute life or death. Like A-levels, life or death. So I will really I'll isolate myself, to be honest, from a lot of my friends, and then it's like got back in touch more in uni time, because uni for me was way more chill than sixth form was very intense. So there was like a period probably like of those 2 years where we weren't really speaking, but still had each other on socials and everything like that. And also Kiva, my friend from Scotland, obviously when I moved away from Scotland, I was 13 years old. There was definitely a good period of time where we weren't speaking as often, and also we couldn't see each other because we were kids and we didn't have the money to do it. Now that we've finished uni and everything, and we've got the money to now that we finished school, and we've got the money to travel and now we see each other all the time. It's ridiculous, like multiple times a year.
That's nice, actually.
So yeah, I think like if you drift away from people, you can grow apart from people and come back together. Kind of.
I think something I've found that's been important is like appreciating your friends as they evolve, like as you go through different life stages. So for example, a friend of mine, if we went to primary school together and we've still continued to be friends, like whilst we went to secondary school, whilst we went to uni, but we've obviously changed as people, but it's a friendship that's still solid. Yeah. Like, just because someone becomes different. Well, it's not even different, it's more so your interests change. Like, when you're 7, you don't know what you actually like or what you enjoy. Yeah. But it's being able to appreciate your friends for that.
For their differences. Yeah. Definitely.
So, now we are back to another segment of what we call What's the Tea. So Aleesha's going to be reading out some confessions today. I haven't seen these, but I'm excited to hear what she has to say. So take the stage.
I only have one, but it's a long one.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Disclaimer. Okay, this is how it goes. It's a very long one. So during my second year at uni, I had this friend called, in fact, let's give her a fake name. June. Why did I think of that? June. Oh, it's from The Handmaid's Tale. Have you seen The Handmaid's Tale? No. Okay. So during my second year at uni, I had this friend called June. We were super close, inseparable really. We'd study together, party together, and even travel together. Everything seemed perfect until one day I found out June had been secretly using my Netflix account for months without telling me. Interesting. I didn't think much of it at first, but then I started noticing she was also borrowing my clothes, eating my food, and somehow forgetting to pay me back for shared Ubers. But the craziest part, she wasn't just doing this to me. I found out she was essentially living off half our friendship group. She'd ask to borrow money from one friend, then ask someone else to cover a bill, and even have a third friend letting her stay rent-free on weekends when she claimed her flat had no hot water. I confronted her thinking maybe she was going through a tough time, which that's quite a good thing to do actually. Yeah. But instead she flipped it on me, saying I was selfish for not sharing more. So I shouldn't be laughing.
Wait, could say that again, please?
I confronted her thinking maybe she was going through a tough time, But instead, she flipped it on me, saying I was selfish for not sharing more. It was like she genuinely believed this was normal. Eventually, we all cut ties with her. But for a while, I was questioning whether I was a bad friend for not giving her more benefit of the doubt. I still think about it sometimes. How did I not see that she was basically using us the entire time?
I will say, she did give her the benefit of the doubt by asking,
True.
Is something, like, are you okay?
Yeah.
So she did give her the benefit of the doubt. So I wouldn't actually think I'm in the wrong. I honestly think that's probably the right way to approach it, because there's obviously a reason why she was probably asking one friend for one friend for one for the other. The problem lies in her trying to flip it and say, you're the problem here.
Yeah.
And that's not what we're not going to do. Like, what?
I think it's a good scenario as well, because it shows as well how it can be difficult to set boundaries in friendships too, and how people can abuse your trust. Because I imagine, how did she get the Netflix account in the first place? You probably gave her the password, and then now you find out she's in there for months and months and using your clothes and da 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 da. Like,
but you know what? Initially, the things that she was listing, like not paying for shared blah blah blah, like these things didn't. I think it depends on your friendships with people, because I will say majority of my friends, like, and I say Dina and Isha, for example, my friends from secondary school.
Yeah.
Most of the time, there's no way we're gonna ask each other for money.
Yeah,
like,
same.
If I'm covering something, I'm covering it. Like, you don't need to ask me. Don't even ask. Like, I would be annoyed if you're asking for my bank details to transfer me. Like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
But that's how our friendship operates.
Yeah.
Most of the time that's the case. Like, say for example, like, we're coming to see each other, or like I'm going to study with Samira. One of us will be like, oh, do you want me to grab you something?
Yeah, exactly, things like that.
I'm not gonna ask
Tally
you
it
for
up,
like, are we okay? Like, because that's when I feel like friendships
Yeah.
become a bit more transactional.
Yeah.
You're looking at what you're actually counting and tallying things, which I don't do.
I fully agree with that, because sorry, this just reminded me of something. Sorry. No, because I am that friend as well. I don't ask people for money. So, like, if I host friends at my house, I will order everybody pizza. I will order all the food, the drinks, da 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 da. I'm paying for that. Don't transfer me nothing. I'm not asking for bank details. Similarly, Ubers. If we're taking an Uber to one place, I've got it. It's fine, because I know on the way back
you can get
the one on the way back. So that's how things work.
Or it could even be the thing where if you get the Uber, I pay for dinner.
Exactly, yeah. Like little things. Or if I get the drinks, then you get the food. You know what I mean? But do you know, a lot of friends, I've actually noticed as well, and that's why I was banging that pillow so hard. A lot of friends are not like that, because I noticed something recently. So when I have friends over, when I host, I'm the one that's buying everybody pizza. Now, when I come to your house, why are you asking me to transfer you half of the bill for the food?
Why is your voice quivering?
Because I'm actually annoyed thinking about it. Do you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, some friends just like...
But how do you deal with that? Because...
Yeah. I deal with it by setting boundaries and setting people at a distance. So sometimes I've learned in my later life, I've learned to be less confrontational, because when I was younger, I was very confrontational and heated and stuff like that at secondary school. Now I've learned it's actually better to just observe people sometimes. So I observed that you did that. I observed the fact that, okay, I've actually paid for a lot of things for you, but when it comes to you buying something, you're asking us to split, da 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 da. I'm going to just take note of that, and I will just put you at a distance, to be honest.
I don't say I necessarily put people at a distance, but what I do is I start refraining. So because like I would just match the energy.
True.
And part of me thought when like this initially started, I was like, oh, but that's changing who you are. Like I'm naturally someone where I would literally just tap. Yeah. If we're both getting something like quickly, I will tap. It's fine. But by me setting that boundary in terms of like, I'm not moving. Like you get what you want, and then I'll get what I want. Exactly. That's because I'm, if anything, abiding by like how you follow, and that won't come at my expense.
Exactly. Yeah. And another thing I want to say lastly is I'm sensitive as well. I think it's important to be sensitive with different people's finances, which is why it was good in this situation that she asked her friend if you're going through anything. because people can be going through a lot. Like, I had times when I was growing up where I was going through a lot, and you'll never know as well with some people.
Exactly, and that's the thing, you will never know.
Yeah.
So that's why I also think it's always important to give someone the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, true.
I gave someone that benefit of the doubt. I gave someone the benefit of the doubt, and after a point, it was truly, I wouldn't even call it a friendship, but it was truly a situation where someone takes your kindness for weakness.
Yeah.
And myself couldn't back myself enough to be like, this is wrong.
Yeah.
I eventually dealt with it or managed it, and I'm happy with it now. But like, if someone can continuously not even factor in you as a person, like they take you being a kind person, or you being a generous person, or you wanting, like, being someone that will just pay for things, they see that as a weakness.
Yeah.
Like, they see that as a weakness, and they're like, I'm gonna play on that weakness of you.
Yeah.
That's when you're like, okay, no. And I'm not even gonna speak to you about it. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, I'm not even gonna speak to you about it because it's nothing to talk about.
I've really enjoyed this episode and this conversation. This has been one of my favourite ones.
I do feel like we have more. We definitely
there's way more. We could sit here for another hour.
But we could do another one with a guest, actually.
Yeah, we will definitely, if you guys enjoyed this episode, we'll definitely do another friendship one with a guest. I wanted to ask you though, just to wrap it up and summarise everything, what advice would you give to your younger self in terms of making friends, good friends, solid friends?
Oh,
I can go first.
You go first.
Mine would be, to my younger self, my advice is to not put too much pressure on making friends. Things will come naturally. If something is meant to be, and if something is true for you, it will come naturally. I think it's very easy at school and stuff to think, I need to hurry up and make a best friend so that I'm not lonely and I don't look like a loner, But when you do that, you rush things and you won't, like I said this earlier, but you won't have the time to actually properly evaluate people. So don't just run into things like arms open all the time. Like, things will take time, and just give yourself grace, because like, look, eventually I've come around now and I've got a solid group of genuine friends that are classed as family. So just give yourself grace and time.
I would say to my younger self that don't see confiding in friends as a weakness, and don't see it as eventually they're going to use it against you. Like, no, see the pure-hearted side of having relationships and friendships with people, and value that, and keep going with that, because you'll eventually find that the more you're able to confide in people, the less pressure or stress you feel in having to deal with things by yourself.
That's so good. And you know what, it's just made me realise how different we are, in the sense of how different we were growing up.
Yeah.
Because like, I was too open, and then
when you were saying yours, I was like, oh no.
Yeah, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. I just wanted to say as well, if you did enjoy this episode, please rate it on whatever platform you're listening on. So if that's Spotify, Apple, please rate it and leave us a review. Massively would help us out, and follow as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe, leave a thumbs up. All of these things massively help us in terms of attracting new guests.
Yes, and if you have any dilemmas that you'd like to send in, you can always DM us on Instagram, or send them to the email. Send them to the email. You can find that in the bio of our Instagram, in the description of whatever streaming platform you're listening to this on. And
as usual, everything is anonymized, so go crazy.
Go crazy, go
stupid.
Thank you guys so much for listening to another episode of To My Younger Self. It's been your girl Praise.
And it's been Aleesha.
And we'll see you
next week with another episode. Bye.